Hello, my awesome project managers. Welcome to a very quick touch point. I got a student question in and I wanted to address it. Becomes quite challenging to address questions, especially when one is trying to keep up with one's job as a project manager. And there just seems to be floods and floods of emails coming in. Now, while I cannot get to every email immediately, I will get to the emails eventually, so don't freak out. Okay. It's also a lot easier for me to address questions using this forum. So I will keep the student anonymous and I will go ahead and address the question. Hopefully, the student in question will find this to be useful. Oh, this student sent in a message to say that they intend taking the test sometime in June, and to do a good job on the exam, this student knows that studying needs to be paramount for a sustained amount of time. And that's okay. So I appreciate you letting me know that you will be taking the exam. And even though it is technically last week of studying virtual live, it's really not, because if you did join our online study group, you will know that I keep in touch with my students regularly. So don't look at it as a final week. No, it's not. We'll still have time to interact. Just join the group and I will do my best to keep everyone motivated. So what do I think about taking the exam in June? Well, we're all different. I know that we all need different amounts of time to digest and absorb the material. One thing I do know about the exam in June, as things wind down, it gets very busy and it could be hard to find space in a test center. But if you've already booked it, that's fine. I also know it gets more competitive because there's a ton more people trying to take the exam. So the angle of cutoff technique could fluctuate and move around, but that's fine. Just do what you know is best for you. There's no point taking the test when you're not ready. The student also indicated feeling overwhelmed to understand where to study. And what I would advise in that regard is stick to a plan, my friend. I think a lot of students struggle when they do not stick to a schedule. You absolutely must stick to your study schedule. If you do not stick to a study schedule, you're going to feel like you're being tossed all over the place. So please use the study schedule that I have made available on the learning management system. I have also made this available on various YouTube meetings. So you probably have found this study schedule in your files. Please use it. It is so important to use your schedule. So what is the advantage of a schedule? The schedule keeps you grounded such that even if you missed a day, you just keep moving along in line with the schedule. The schedule keeps you grounded. The schedule keeps you focused. When there is no schedule, you do not have that mechanism to stay focused, and one could find oneself all over the place. So here is a reminder about how this schedule looks. Okay. The schedule looks something like this, and I'm going to just doctor it up a little bit so that you can see the fields, the original fields that I put into this schedule. So the original fields that I put into this schedule were the duration to study a chapter, the start date, and the finish date. And You can add fields to it for whatever you want, but this was pretty much it. So think about it. If you started studying, and let me share this with you here again. If you started studying on the 15th of March, 2020, March 15th, 2020, just assume you did. You can see that this timetable evaluates how long it will take for you to complete the content using these estimates for the duration. So if you study chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for a day apiece, chapter 8, let's make that a day. Just study a chapter a day because you've been through the training, right? Study a chapter a day. Where would that put you? That will put you at 3:30. That is in great time, far ahead. So even if you needed to do 2 or 3 rounds, let's say you had to 2x all of this and make this 2 all the way through. Let's see what happens if I made this 2. So if we made all of these 2 and we said, okay, you have to study 2 days each knowledge area or each chapter. And let me bring this down so you can see what's here. Take the final marathon mark. So let's say we made that 3 days. Still, by the 1st of April, you should have finished all of these tasks, which is really chapter 1 all the way through chapter 14 or 13. We got chapter 14 that we call ethics on our learning system. So if you did all the chapters, you did the mini mock, you did the marathon mock, let's say we added this. Let's add a day to take the more advanced quizzes. So let's add a day, 1 day, 1 day, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way down. Plus, let's say you took the mock exam again and you took all the other mocks. It would take you till the 8th of April to be done with everything on this program. Let's even throw in some slack and say you need 2 days to write a mock exam. Let's put in 2 days here. Still doesn't make much of a difference, does it? Does it? And I think I probably should modify my formula. I think my formula is just a little bit off. I think there's some exceptions here. Okay, so I need to change all of these to 2. No wonder the needle didn't move. Well, if I change all of these to 2, let me just do a quick formula here. Equals this plus this. And let me just move it all the way down. And let's see where that ends up. Let me back out of that. Let's do it again. That's a merged cell. I can't do it there. Okay. So actually, if I gave you 2 days for each one, and I'm glad we're doing this, that will take you to 420. And let's do the same thing here. And this equals this. This is just a rough approximation, by the way. And equals that plus that. And let's do it all the way down and see where that will take you. Just for example. Okay, we're a little bit off here because this is a milestone. So this will be equal to this. Actually, it just wants this to be 0. There we go. So taking a look at this, excuse me, we can see worst case scenario, even if you did 2 days for every chapter and you did 1 day to take all those tests, you should, by the 4th of May, be feeling a lot more comfortable. See that? So what I'm going to do is save this and use this as an example for you. I'm going to send this to you and maybe share with our other students who may be on a similar journey. And this will guide you as far as what you need to be doing to feel a lot more comfortable. So let me go ahead and save it. And I'll just call it version 2, 2020. And I will send this to you, okay? So that's that. And I'm hoping that this helps other students that are wondering, all right, how do I study? How do I tackle the material? How should I space out my time? So on and so forth. All right, that's how you do it. Okay, let's go back to the other questions that you might have. Let me pull that up. So feeling overwhelmed, break it down, like I said, have a study plan, go bit by bit. Okay, so that would be my advice. You take it a day at a time. Don't overdo it. Make sure you get enough rest before studying, and make sure you take a quiz a day. Close those gaps. Read the PMBOK guide. Read our study guide. That's what I would recommend. Okay? So not coming to class anymore is actually a blessing, believe it or not, because coming to class, you're learning, but you're not studying. Now that you're not coming to class, you do need to study. And like I said, stick to the schedule. So that schedule is going to be sent to you. So taking quizzes on the learning management system, scoring medium on the first try and then higher when you try after that. That's totally okay. I would say get done with these first easy quizzes that you see on the PMP exam prep portal, the very first quizzes that you see. But when you're done going through those 14 or so quizzes, that is when you need to step up your game and go to the crazier quizzes. What do I mean by the crazier ones? By crazier quizzes, I'm talking about these down here that we refer to as the 2020 vision tests. Also, bear in mind, we also have the PMP exam challenge quizzes, not the exam, but the quizzes. So we have quizzes that are called the challenge quizzes, and they are challenge. They're very long. They're hard to read. You know, if you're someone who reads slow, this will train you to read fast. So this is what I would recommend. As you can see here, I'm sorry if you are not able to see what I was showing you. This is what I would recommend at this point. So take the 2020 vision quizzes after you have mastered the basic ones, because you know the basic quizzes, then you have the challenge quizzes, you have the 2020 vision quizzes. Take all of them. All right? Good. Going back to your next question. It says, you need to know how to recall the formulas. The way to recall the formulas is one thing: repetition. Repetition. You got to repeat again and again. You got to watch the videos again and again. You got to try problems again and again. That is how it is done. Unfortunately, my time daily is fully maxed out in my project management job. And as a result of that, I am not available to speak to students one-on-one at this time. I have a boatload, trust me, of deliverables. I'm working 18-hour days. So I barely have time for anything other than to get my deliverables out right now. It's one of those deliverable intense periods. So while I'm unable to do that, if on the group you send a chat in or you send a message in, we have many, many capable PMPs. They'll motivate you, they'll encourage you, they'll give you some ideas, they'll give you their 2 cents, and they'll get back to you with ideas. Okay? So if you're stuck, the best thing to do is maximize the online group forum for social learning and motivation. And I can assure you, if there's any opportunity to give you some further motivation, instruction, or encouragement, I will do that. But at the current time, my time is totally strapped. And that is why I have invited our friends, the likes of Mr. Dre and Shri and Emily and Heather and Sunil and Chris and Dustin and Sophia and all of my other PMP bosses. Maribel is there, Melanie is there, many, many of them. Pablo is there, Mario is there. I mean, the list is endless. All of these awesome people on the group, on the Phil's Bosses group, all you need to do is yell. They'll hear you and they'll come running to help, to assist, because that's how we roll. It's very communal and no one's there to sell anything to anyone. We're there because we are already students of the program and no one is trying to market anything to you. It's all quality. Anything that you see on the group, any post, it's all value and quality. No one's trying to sell nothing, okay? So I'd advise that you take advantage of the group. If there are any topics that are difficult for you, your best bet is to not only post it to the group, but email it to us as well. And as soon as it is possible, we will create content. Now, I don't know if you've been looking at the time, but this is definitely well over 10 minutes of time spent. This is a mentoring program. It's a mentoring call right here. Even though we're not co-located, it is not a real-time mentoring call, but this is mentoring. And this is how we typically reach out to students that have extended questions, okay? So send in your questions. If you have any further questions, make use of the group, okay? I hope this has helped everyone that is on our programs, and especially the student who sent in the question. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Bye for now.